All right, guys, today we got a special guest in the house, Mr. Helicopter himself out here whipping everything in sight. The man, the myth, the legend, Nonstop.
Yeah. What up, Jake? And the chop.
What's good, bro?
What's good, brother? What's good? It's good. What has been almost a month now since the last one we all got together.
Since the live that we did, yeah. I don't think it's been like 2 years since the first interview.
Well, yeah, you can say that like 50,000 times. Yeah, damn sure it has. His first one has been like 2 years. But still chilling, man. It was laying up in the cut, man. That's why it was good to see everybody on that live that day. Know what I mean? So now we're doing a solo one again. I'm back.
Right. So for the people that, may not know, can you just give a little introduction though?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Nonstop. You know what I mean? Straight from Forest Projects, 166 and 10. COK for life. You know what I mean? Cuban is my boy, is my brother. White boy, Louisville's, whoever know, you know what they do. You know what I mean?
All right, let's get straight into it, bro.
Yeah.
So you're from the Bronx, right? But were you born in the Bronx?
Nah, I was born in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy. You know what I mean? And I left Brooklyn when I was 2 years old, and then I was raised in the Bronx since then because I was adopted by some Italians. And I moved to Little Italy in 184th and Hughes Avenue in the Bronx. It was Italian neighborhood, you know what I mean? So when that went through, the family was tight, and then my family came back, and then I ended up moving to Forest Projects on my own. You know what I mean? I lived over there, Forest Projects over here. So, and that's more than 166 and 10.
Wow. So you were adopted, but it was just like a temporary adoption, kind of like a foster family?
Yeah. And I thank God because, most niggas don't even most people don't make it out of foster care, but yeah, you know what I mean? So it's a family that took me in, that I was raised with, actually me and my sister. But, once we got to a certain age, that's when we, you know what I mean?
So then you move to the Bronx. You said Forest
Projects, yeah.
Right. Okay. But then you also have connections to the Littlevilles, though.
Oh yeah. That's where it started. I moved to Forest Projects in 85. You know what I mean? And Cuban, I met Cuban in Littlevilles. Like, first person I met in Littlevilles is White Boy.
Okay.
White Boy, he was hanging out with us first. That's when we started Posse None. You know what I mean? PM. We was hanging at 23 Park, and Cuban used to come to the park all the time. But at that time, I think him and Pun was just chilling. So we was dumb young. I think it was like 16 at that time. It was like, because I met White Boy when he was like 15, 16, because we grew up from there. You know what I mean? He Littlevilles down the block, and we right up the block. I mean, not even a whole block, because we all hung up in 23 Park. You feel me?
Who did you meet in Terror Squad, like multiverse first?
First person I met in Terror Squad was Crime, okay? His name was Crime. And Crime is original Terror Squad member. Original,
Street team.
Yeah. He's from original, like, Ken Do, Chris, Italian Joe, Fat Joe, Charlie Rock. Charlie Pebbles, Charlie Rock. You have so many, Black Dave, Little Heck. These are the originals. And Crime, he was the first person I met. And how we met, because I was talking to a girl that lived in Littlevilles, okay? Her name was Jessica, you know what I mean? And White Boy, he was talking to some chick. White Boy lived in Littlevilles, so every day I was going to Shorty's house. Her name was Jessica, and she lived on the second floor. So I was tight with White Boy and, Cuban, because my Shorty lived there, you know what I mean? So, and that's how that came about. And Crime, he was messing with my homeboy, my other homeboy, his name is Big O, his sister name was Joe. So he's the first person from Terror Squad, and that's where it began. And I was a little youngin' too. But him, that's the one that showed me everything. You know what I mean?
So you knew Charlie before he went in?
No.
To prison?
It's two different Charlies.
Okay.
Charlies. Yeah. No. I never met Charlie. I just heard of Charlie. You know what I mean? It's like when Charlie came out, that's when all this drama started to happen. You know what I mean? That's when Cuban's going through, you know what I mean? All this shit, everything hit the fan. So at the same time, you know what I mean? But I am going to tell you something, tell you this, though. I never forget this. To this day, I'm waiting for my tracks. Now, I mean, Cuban heard it. I mean, it was a while. You know, I made this track. And I mean, it was Distant Tony Sunshine, son. The shit was fire. And this is after, you know what I mean, once I got stabbed up 6 times in Southern Boulevard. I think it was in 2006. It was like a couple of years. And I mean, this is when I was hanging.
Wait. No, you can't just start jumping into all that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You gotta go back a little bit, okay?
But you bringing it there.
All right, wait. So then you end up meeting Cuban like shortly after you meet Crime, or how long after Crime?
Cuban, I already knew Cuban in Littlevilles. I met Cuban
okay.
But White Boy just hanging there. Like I hung out in White Boy's house and Cuban used to be there. You understand?
And what was your first impression of him?
First impressions, man. I was a loud dude. The nigga was nice. He was funny. He was we was like all brothers. I mean, if he hung out with White Boy, then he was a goofball. And he was a real dude. I mean, we only it's like real recognize real, right? But he was a goofball, crazy sense of humor. We used to blow it down. We drink, we goof off. And the biggest thing, man, how it really connected, we used to go to the pool hall right there on Boston Road. I think it was like 168 Boston Road. Him and Pun, masters, man. I ain't gonna lie, masters at the pool hall there. But everybody hung out there, know what I mean? The old terror squad, because we hang out there right there, 166 and 10. Then Littlevilles, we already know every Friday and Saturday, niggas don't gotta call nobody. Back then we had no cell phones. Niggas had beepers. I mean, you don't gotta call nobody. Everybody know what time we'll meet up right there in front of the bodega. And we already know, yo, if they ain't there, we knew where we was at. Yo, let's go hit Littlevilles. We already know they there. So that was a dope move. So we go to White Boy's house and everybody's in White Boy's house. And, you know, it's just going on and on and on. You feel me? Yeah. Yeah, you bringing back some memories, man. Oh, my God. It's some good memories, some bad memories. But, you know,
right.
Yeah. So, you know, oh, yeah, I love it. Yeah. So that's the first time. And Crime wasn't like, Crime is a real dude. I mean, he's a real dude. And he wasn't the type to associate with everybody. You understand? At that time, it's like he took me under wing. He seen what I was doing in the streets. I was young, but he also seen what I was doing. So he seen something in me, and he into, you know what I mean? We go down the line with that, but that's where it all started. You know what I mean?
So when you met Cuban at that time, you didn't know Pun yet, but you met him like shortly after?
I met Pun shortly after because they was together every day. Mm-hmm. I started seeing Pun, trying to think of this fucking car. Sorry. I'm trying to think of this car Cuban used to drive. It was some white car, bro, 2-door joint, man. He'll tell you, bro. I mean, it was all right. Hey, my man used to whip that shit around all the time. And he used to go to Lehman College. Him and Pun used to be in that. But at that time, that's when Cuban brought him around because he used to bring him up the block to 160 and in front of the bodega. And that's when it was like in the 90s, man, like 89, 90. It was like, it just happened so fast. So, you know, and every day that was a routine. They'll just come up. And this is way before Pun was, you know, rapping. You know, this is before Philip Clips came. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Philip Clips didn't even start yet. They was just them playing basketball. We getting it together.
So at that time, that's when Pun was skinny, right? Because he used to be able to dunk and shit.
No, he wasn't as fat. When I met him, he was still chubby, but he was, you know what I mean, still broad. He wasn't all skinny like in the picture they have in the sheepskin. That picture was from back in Soundview, because I used to live right there in Cozy Corner in Academy Gardens. So, you know, I know some people out there. I know a lot of people out there. And a lot of people know me, and they give me a lot of respect. You know what I mean? From Soundview, Cozy Corner. You know what I mean? Salute to G.I., man. Your head up. He's locked up right now. You know what I mean? He was one of those G's that got caught up with the feds. I mean, when Mary Jo White came down and locked a lot of them up. I mean, salute to Hocus Focus. Hocus 4/5. You know what I mean? Hocus 4/5. He'll probably remember my face, but they used to all be out there in Academy Gardens. I mean, things were so sweet. I respect them. I'm going to salute them to the end. It was like I was the only, they gave me so much respect, my G, that I know they're going to see this video. And I hope his 45th see this. But G.I., I mean, he's locked up right now. He knows me. He used to call me Money Mike. but they gave me so much respect. It was like, that's when I had my personal driver. My personal driver, he'll pull up in and this is true story, he'll pull up in the red Navigator. I come outside, coming out of Academy Gardens with the red leather, coming from Cuban house, because Cuban used to live right down the block in the big White House. I have it in all red, and they'll still salute me and give me a pound. You understand? Because back then, you couldn't just wear red like that, cozy corner. Now, there ain't been nothing not right there. You understand? So it's some real good things back there. There's some real good things, and that's where Pun, you know, that's when he was real skinny. He was doing his thing. That's where he's from and all that. You feel me?
Got you. So at the time that you met Cuban and Pun, were they already rapping?
No. That's what I'm saying. When I met Cuban and Pun, we was playing baseball, softball.
Oh, wow.
We used to meet up in 23 Park. We was playing basketball, handball. I mean, Pun was nasty in handball. I'm telling you, man. That's back then, bro. That's when 23 Park, when it was fun going to the park.
So how long after you meet them does rapping start to be at the forefront?
98, 99. I never forget the day Pun was sitting on 2 crates in front of Bodega. He asked me...
Wait. But he signed to Joe like around like what? Like 95, right? Because Capital Punishment came out in 98.
Well, then I'm off a couple of years then. So it's about like 90, yeah.
Because in 95, that's when Jealous One's Envy comes out, right?
Yeah.
And then Pun's on that.
Yeah. You're right. Correction on that, no doubt. And I never forget, you know, before that, you know, Pun he sat on 2 crates in front of the store. Like, yo, Nonstop, yo, order me a hero sandwich. And the dude, you order him this hero sandwich, he asked for 2. But he wasn't that big, man. The dude, oh my God, Pun was lovely. Oh, I got this crazy story to do, right?
Wait. Before you start going into all that, all right, we got to take this slow, okay? Come on. All right. But with Pun though, right? Like, so what was your first impression of Pun when you met him?
He's a real dude. Damn, this nigga, baby. Nigga was nasty in basketball because that's the first time I really see him play ball. But when Cuban introduced me to Pun the first time, I was like, damn, his name, at that time, his name was Moondog. So,
right.
Yeah, you know, that Moondog. So it was like, damn, okay. My nigga, probably like Pun. But the way he moved, I'm like, this dude was great. Great at everything. I was crazy, bugging, like, yo, how's this dude doing that? How's he like really making these shots? How's he like really doing this? Yeah, it was crazy. He was nasty in basketball. Him and Cuban, tag team. And they start playing people around, you know what I mean, the area. Then white boy, then we all go behind. It was like behind the school. They have a basketball court, and that's where everybody going like a good day. That's where you found Little Lose out too, you know what I mean?
So with Pun, like at this time, was he like representing himself as just like kind of like someone that joked a lot, or like did you see him like really like beating on people and shit like that? Like what kind of image did Pun have at the time?
What I seen Pun, I mean, I'm used to Pun joking, snapping. We played knuckles, playing spades in the park, drinking 40s. I'm like, I had my experience with Pun, like I could say way before the rich, you know, the wealth and all that. Because once, you know, he got signed. Now he's going on to another chapter. That's when bigger things, houses, money and all that come. So I really didn't see him as much, but, you know, I was always a part of Cuban. You understand? You understand? Like, Pun is here. That's not my level. That's not my area I belong in. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? But when he came around, I seen him. He was on the red scooter, things like that. But he always showed me love, just salute. It wasn't, Cuban was the main one. I always hung out with Cuban. You understand? But by the time I really started really hanging out in the music with Cuban, Pun had passed away. So I never really, because I was doing a lot of things on the outside, getting my money. So I never really, you know, went with Terror Squad over here, Joe, and I never forget. And I asked Cuban one time why I said, yo, why you never took me to that place? I only went with him. You understand? I know not with Joe, all of it. And he kept it real. And that's when I learned about the industry. Certain things he just told me, you know, and to protect me and to protect other people. Because a lot of this day and age is like, a lot of people was getting sunned out. You know what I mean? People was getting not treated right. So that type of world, it was crazy. It was crazy. So I understood what Cuban said, because people don't, I be watching everything on YouTube, bro. Okay? Everything, right? Cuban, I had a lot of people. I'm not gonna bring no names, but Cuban, you know, everybody got their personal feeling about my G. Me, I get it. Y'all just met him. Y'all just met him 5 years ago, 6 years ago, or whatever. But hanging out with him because he's an artist. So that's why y'all feeling him. Y'all build a relationship. Boom, and all of a sudden y'all go sideways. Me, and then everybody, he's always doing this. He need to stop crying. He need to stop that. Nah. Let my brother breathe, man. Why? I grew up with him. I know how he is on the inside before he was nothing. He has his personal vendettas with things. Leave that man alone. Don't judge whatever he's doing. You understand what I'm saying? If he want to make that move, let that man make that move.
You know Felix.
That's right.
You know who Felix is.
Exactly. I know Felix when he came Lyrical Assassin, from Lyrical Assassin to Cuban Link. You understand?
Right.
We used to hang out we used to, walk up there. I can't even remember. It's like on a 6 line. Hang out with some chicks over there, go to the house. We've done a lot of things, man. A lot of things. Those are my memory days, you know what I mean? And now I'm just